to be able to respond to concerns or matters that were forwarded to their ministries, matters that could be concerning county, inter-county, national, international, or even regional issues. And these are concerns that are normally forwarded to the ministries prior the cabinet secretary's appearance on the floor of the house. And this morning, 2 cabinet secretaries have been lined up for, or rather to appear before the floor of the Senate chambers. The cabinet secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Dr. Alfred Mutua, as well as the cabinet secretary for Health, Aden Duale, to respond to matters that their ministries received before this particular morning, to be able to give out comprehensive responses. And of course, the members usually get an opportunity to ask supplementary questions, of course, that are aligned to the primary question. So this morning, the cabinet secretary for Labor and Social Protection will be responding to a question that has been posed by the senator for Kisumu County, Professor Tom Ojienda. This regards workers in the various sugar companies. One of the questions the member for Kisumu County will be seeking answers to is regarding the rationale behind discharging workers in state-owned industries, particularly in strategic sectors such as sugar and textile industries, and how those decisions comply with Articles 41 and 43 of the Constitution, that is on fair labor practices and the right to social and economic security, respectively. Linked to that particular question, also the Senator for Kisumu County will be seeking responses from the Cabinet Secretary to confirm the number of workers affected by that particular restructuring that carried out in Kisumu County, especially in Chemilili, Muhoroni, and Miwani sugar companies, and also clarify whether they have received full severance benefits, pensions, and gratuities without undue delay. Under the same question, the member for Kisumu will also want to understand from the Ministry for Labor and Social Protection whether the ministry conducted socio-economic impact assessments before approving the release, and if so, table the reports and indicate the mitigation measures for affected households and host counties, and also what immediate programs the ministry has introduced to reskill, redeploy, or otherwise safeguard the livelihoods of the affected workers, and how the effectiveness of these programs is being monitored. These are some of the questions that the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Dr. Alfred Mutua, who's already within the precincts of Parliament and is just waiting to be ushered into the Senate chambers once the House corrects, will be responding to. This is the primary question that the Cabinet Secretary has appeared before the Senate to respond to, but of course we understand there will be supplementary questions from the members of the Senate regarding the concerns around this particular matter that has been raised. The Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aden Duale, who's also expected to appear before the Senate this morning, also has a number of questions that were also forwarded to his ministry prior to this particular day. He will be coming to give comprehensive responses to these concerns. One of the questions is from the Senator for Kirinyaga County, Honorable James Murango. And this question regards public health facilities in Kirinyaga County. The member for Kirinyaga will be requesting from the Senate to be provided with a list of all public health facilities in Kirinyaga County that have been issued with title deeds, as well as those that have not. Also, why many public health facilities in the county still lack these title deeds. And also if there are any measures, including budgetary allocations, that the ministry has put in place to ensure that all public health facilities in Kirinyaga County are issued with title deeds. The nominated Senator, Honorable Tabitha Mutinda, also has questions for the Cabinet Secretary for Health. These are questions that regard the budget allocations for the Linda Mama program, and the Senator will be seeking to get answers to these questions, including current annual budget allocation and how the funds are distributed across counties and public health facilities, including a breakdown of allocations from financial year 2024-2025 to date under the Social Health Authority, commonly referred to as SHA, as well as the Social Health Insurance Fund, commonly referred to as SHIF. Also, if there are any benefit package of Linda Mama changed following its transition under SHIF, and if so, what the specific changes in coverage, benefit amounts for normal and cesarean deliveries, and eligibility criteria. The Senator will also be seeking to understand from the Cabinet Secretary what safeguards are in place to ensure that funds allocated to Linda for maternal and child health services, and that indigent mothers, especially in rural and marginalized areas, receive full benefits without undue delays. If you're just joining us, is that the House is about to commence its sitting. However, there is a quorum hitch. This is a hitch that might risk the House being adjourned if the quorum is not raised, that is at the commencement of a sitting of the Senate. The Speaker has directed that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. This is to also alert the members who may be within the precincts of Parliament and perhaps running late to get to the chambers, to hasten their steps and get to the chambers, join their colleagues, and enable the House raise that much needed quorum, of course, for the House to commence that business. If that quorum is not raised as provided for in the House Standing Order number 40, at the lapse of the first 10-minute quorum bell and the second minute quorum bell, then the House might risk being adjourned until the next sitting. However, the senators this morning are expected or are scheduled to engage the Cabinet Secretaries, being a Wednesday morning. Let's hear from the Speaker whether the quorum has been raised or a further quorum bell will be rung.
Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the bell for further 10 minutes.
Well, we have heard from the Speaker that the quorum is yet to be raised, and that the quorum bell continue for a further 10 minutes. This is the second round of the quorum bell as provided for in the House 40. If the House fails to raise that quorum, it will be adjourned until the next sitting. I have seen the Senator for Embu County, Honorable Mundigi, just indicating that perhaps could be one senator needed. As provided for in the House Standing Order, at least 15 senators should be seated as and when the House or the prayer is said and the chair taken. If that quorum is not present, then the quorum bell will be on for the first 10-minute round. If it lapses without the quorum having been raised, then the second quorum bell will be on, and that is currently where we are now. At least 15 senators are expected to be inside the chambers. Just a few remaining for the House to attain that quorum, and also for it to be able to commence its business. The business that is lined up for consideration this morning is engaging the Cabinet Secretaries, being a Wednesday morning where the Cabinet Secretaries appear before the Senate chambers to respond to concerns. These are questions that are normally forwarded to their ministries prior their appearance on Wednesday morning. just to be able to appear before the House and give comprehensive answers to the matters that were forwarded to them. These are issues that emanate perhaps from the counties, inter-county, national, regional, or even international level. And when the cabinet secretaries appear, then they give comprehensive answers to these matters that have been forwarded to their ministries. And also, senators get an opportunity to ask supplementary questions that are aligned to the primary question. This morning, as I had indicated earlier, is that 2 cabinet secretaries have been lined up to appear before the Senate chambers. The Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection, Dr. Alfred Mutua, is already within the precincts of Parliament, just awaiting to be ushered into the chamber, take his position, and take the stand to respond to the questions. So if that quorum is raised, then the business will continue. However, as provided for in the House standing orders, if that quorum is not raised, then the House might be adjourned. We believe that is not what the senators could be expecting to happen, because normally, or many occasions, the senators have been up in arms when the cabinet secretaries do not show up when they are invited before the chamber. So this morning, if the cabinet secretaries are here, then it is expected that the senators will also be able to enable the House correct and for the House to commence its sitting, so that the cabinet secretaries who are already within the precincts are ushered in and transact the business that they have come to do in Parliament this morning. We shall continue to take a look at the questions that the senators have for the cabinet secretaries this morning. The delay now allow me to hand you over.
So let's settle down, and clerk, can we proceed to call the first order?
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, honorable senators, we start with question number 113 by the honorable senator for Kisumu County, Professor Tom Ojenda, who I'm informed he is not present today. However, he has delegated the asking of this question to Honorable Beatrice Akinyi, who will ask this question on behalf of the Senator for Kisumu County. Clerk, can you confirm that the CS Labour is in the House? Honorable CS for Labour, welcome to the Senate once again. You're before the Senate for purposes of responding to question number 113 by the Senator for Kisumu County. Honorable Beatrice Akinyi, you may proceed to ask that question on behalf of the Senator for Kisumu County.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker. As granted by you and requested by Senator Ojenda, this is question number 113 to ask the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection. Question 1, could the Cabinet Secretary explain the rationale behind discharging workers in state-owned industries, particularly in strategic sectors such as sugar and textile industries, and how these decisions comply with Articles 41 and 43 of the Constitution on fair labor practices and the right to social and economic security, respectively? Question 2, could the Cabinet Secretary confirm the number of workers affected by the restructuring carried out in Kisumu County, especially in Chemelil, Muhoroni, and Miwani sugar companies, and clarify whether they have received full severance benefits